Good morning, traders. It is Friday, September the 20th. Taking a look at the charts, we've got all the markets testing resistance or support, and we're waiting to see if there's going to be reversals or if things are going to break out and continue on the trend that they've started. Now, if we look at the SP 500, pretty straightforward price action. We traded in this range all through August. Looking for a breakout, whichever way it was going to go was going to have a significant run. It broke to the upside. We ended up trading the Russell 2000 to catch this play. And now the market is trading sideways here in this range, which is right through resistance here from back in July. And now we're waiting to see where price is going to go. The bias is to the upside, trend is up, market is green, and we're looking to see if it's going to be able to start to break out and extend, or if we're going to roll over and come back down to this, more or less it would be this larger range through here. Now, if we take a look, so that's for the risk off, those are equities. If we take a look at the risk on, or sorry, those are risk on equities. Now we're going to look at the precious metals. They are risk off. And if we look at the price action here, it is the opposite picture. Money has been moving down, and now we're trading at short-term support right across this area right here. We're holding up, and the question is this starting to form a little bit of a bottom here and going to start to roll up, and we see the equities market sell off, or is this going to continue down for a three-wave correction? We have a 1, 2, 3-wave correction, cleanses the market, and then it starts to go higher at a later date. So safe havens are all trying to build a base. Equities are trying to, they're at resistance and trying to break through it. And we're just letting to see what the market is going to start to do here. We'll see if we get some insight. We can get into a position early, but at this point, markets are struggling here to pick a direction. They're not showing any real insight into the recent bar action, if the buyers are in control or the bears, and we're seeing it just a struggle. Now, if we take a look over at energies, natural gas, big down day yesterday. You can see here, let me just zoom out a little bit more. You can see this past level here, which acted as support, and then it broke under it. Well, we've broken up through there, we bounced off it, and now we're back at this area, and we could be forming a little bit more of a deeper correction. We might see a little bit of a head and shoulders form here, meaning we see a bear flag form, which would be a three-wave correction to the downside. That would bring us down into this previous high over here for a support area, and could give us an oversold market condition for us to potentially get long. More or less, the trend has broken this downward trend. It's got some nice momentum, and this is going to be the first pullback and consolidation, and usually the first pullback and pause in the market you can buy for it to continue to go higher. Looking over at crude oil, up 0.75% this morning. Again, it's got the really chopping around on news. Overall, I'm not a huge fan of the price action, although even though the trend is up for crude, it's been really noisy all over the place. Not a fan of all this type of chop and price action, and obviously the news-based move, but more or less we've seen this move come down, and it's starting to form what looks like a little bear flag, a little bit of a pause here at the halfway mark. And we could very easily see this come all the way back, dig down, and negate this giant gap in price that it had, and come back into this range. Overall, really messy chart. Just not too interested in crude, although it feels as though it's got a negative bias and could very easily come back down to this 55 area to fill the gap and to complete this potential measured move starting to form. Taking a quick look over at the US dollar ETF, the dollar is still holding up. If the dollar starts to pop and run here, it may put a little bit of pressure on the safe havens, although we have been seeing when money moves into the dollar, it's really moving in, it's looking for safe haven money position to get put into, and it's actually moving into metals as well. So if the dollar moves up, it's going to be interesting to see how things go. We have been seeing the dollar and gold more or less move up together. If the dollar does pop, it could put a little bit of pressure or mute any move in metals. But overall, the dollar and metals have really decoupled from how they are moving. So I do feel as though the dollar is going to continue to move up as a safe haven play. It has been in this long uptrend here, and when it does start to crack and break, it will have a pretty significant pullback, and that I think will spark a nice rally in metals cut in the rate is bearish for the dollar. It's bullish for metals. So if the dollar starts to collapse and crumble, we're going to probably see metals really start to put in a bottom here and start to break out of it. Last but not least, let's take a look at utilities. We are long utilities. It's the only one that's kind of been grinding its way higher. We're looking for a continued move up to 64.79, up where the cursor is here at the top of the chart. We're looking for a continued move. Hopefully we'll see this continue to squeeze in here. Money is moving into this safe haven simply because the equities markets, the indexes have stalled at resistance. They don't know where to put their money, and falling rates is good for utility stocks. And of course, there's uncertainty in the market if stocks are going to roll over. And hopefully, we'll see this continue to squeeze up and pop in the next couple sessions here, hit our target. And then I think it's kind of overdone for some type of sharp pullback. Because if the SP 500 and the NASDAQ and the major indexes break to the upside and pop, we're going to see money come out of the safe havens. We're going to see utilities pull back. The question is, how far will they pull back? And if we can hit our target before then, if it does pull back, we could chop around in a range for a little while. It still could hold its ground, and we could see a final squeeze a little later to hit that target that we've got up in this area. Anyways, that's it for this morning. Talk to you in a little bit. Bye-bye.